guys, I know you're out doing your Black Friday shopping. Make sure that one of your stops is to come by to you. Yes, we are here. We are live. We're interactive. My Design Habit. Rhonda's in. They're already jumping in the scope. We're going to get it shared. We're going to get it going. But I wanted Sharon Mousy Brown to be in the shop when we go live because today is all about to you. Look at the hearts. Look at the hearts. Everybody has said, will you be there on Friday? We said, okay, we'll be there on Friday. Because when you're an entrepreneur, this is not your downtime. This is not your vacation. You've got to get out there and continue to create buzz. Now, it does look a little bit different. This is not our normal set because what we're going to do is as our entrepreneurs stop by, they're going to jump in. And, of course, our number one entrepreneur at Tuya, of course, is Sharon Mousy Brown. And we have some of her work here, some of her amazing work that she does on the customs framing side. Now, it is Black Friday, so she has a deal which is
10% off anything and everything in here.
10%. She says, but not her. So if you have a art lover on your gift list, you need to come by too. You've got original art all over the place. You've got gift certificates for the custom frame because the art lover, you never know what to buy them. You never know. Because who knew that tell me about your name again.
My name is Demetra Bryan.
Demetra had this piece where did you have this piece?
It's in a tube in the house. My daughter won it off of a Carnival cruise ship.
Her daughter won this on a Carnival cruise, and we have since learned some real good history about Betty Boop.
Yeah.
We learned that she was black.
Yes, African American.
Right. And she's had it instilled in the tube. Now, how long ago did you guys go on the cruise?
About a year and a half ago.
A year and a half. And what made you decide to take it to the next level with some mousy framing?
Because I came to this shop, fell in love with Mousy, fell in love with the shop, and I finally knew where to take the piece.
And now this is something, every time you guys look at it, it's going to take you back to the cruise. You guys will always have that moment, but it'll always be something very special in the family, right?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And so where is it going to go in the house?
She said it's going to go in her bedroom.
It's going to go in her bedroom, and then there's something, I mean, she'll have that forever.
Yeah, it's true. But she's doing another piece. There's another piece to this that she's going to work on.
Okay.
And then the Mayan piece that I just dropped off.
Oh, we have to see that. So what did you do here?
And actually, that is a cell. So it's
Why
on
we switch
a cellophane.
spaces? Go ahead.
It's on a cellophane which has a backing, a background that is like when it's a cartoon. They'll do the cells, old school. You do different cells and you keep the same background. So it can be removed, but to give it the background, we just leave it together. I don't put any adhesive on it at all because it is numbered. So this is very valuable. So what we do, I did 3 mats. It's a white mat, a red mat to enhance, and then a white mat on top. And I raised the top 2 mats to give it depth. And then we did a nice simple black frame to just draw her out. So it turned out really great. I love it.
And it's got kind of a 3D look to it.
Because of the not only just the cell, but then me raising the mats.
Now, if you would have left it up to me, this would have been masking tape on the back of it,
On the wall.
on the wall.
Wow.
But,
Oh my.
Yeah. So
No, we can't have that. Not with Betty Boop.
Now with Betty Boop, because now we know that's a special piece.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And
And we
love
all go
doing
on trips and come home with all kind of mementos.
Yeah.
And they just literally sit around. I mean, I've got some signed prints, and it's like, and I haven't brought those in yet. So anyway.
When my daughter goes to SCAD, and she's been painting and drawing and stuff,
Oh,
so I
wow.
have a lot more pieces to bring
Right.
in. She thought they're junk pieces. I'm like,
No,
at
no.
almost, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year for that school. Oh, those babies are going up in the wall.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. You're proud of her.
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it should be. It doesn't do any good being a drawer somewhere. Nobody
No,
can enjoy
no.
it.
No.
And they're great conversation pieces.
What I liked about this is that Mousy really took the time. It wasn't a point that I just dropped it off. We sat there, we talked about the colors, we looked at the colors in here, we tried a different couple of mats, but when we did this and then the layered, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect.
And now you're addicted to framing because you just brought in another
Yep.
piece.
That's right.
Wow. And you can tell the difference it makes in your house as well.
Oh, yes.
You know.
I'm
And the
sure.
thing about one of the things I learned about being happy is to be able to savor what you've done, what you've accomplished.
Right.
And when you find a person that's not happy, they're not savoring the life. And so that's great.
Right, because to some people this is just a Betty Boop picture. This is all about a cruise that we went on. It was my daughter's,
Right.
my mom's first cruise.
Wow.
It was that we weren't even gonna go to the auction because what's the chances of winning? She did win.
Wow.
So
So she got this, it was an auction on the cruise.
You know what? This isn't the piece she won. She won the poppy
other one, yes.
It's poppy flowers.
Okay.
And then she decided, hey, let's buy
So
something.
so
and
she
they
got
found
hooked.
two
Okay.
pieces, that we liked.
Oh.
Yeah, we already framed the other one, so that's already home.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now we're
Now
on
this-
a roll here.
All right. Now this is very different because
Yes.
I'm looking at it and I see a floor plan, but this is a floor plan that means something to somebody. So what did you
Right.
do here?
This is, if anybody watches Dexter, this is his floor plan of his apartment,
Okay.
which is really, really cool. It shows where his little box of slides is hidden, and where his tools are in his bedroom. I mean, it tells everything. It tells the whole story about his apartment. And then a gentleman came in, and he got this as a present from his wife, and he told me what he wanted was just like a drop of blood. This framed up and a drop of blood on the mat.
Oh.
So
man.
he told me, he says, Mousy, you do whatever you want to do. So, so I did. So this is 2 mats.
Mhm.
The black on the bottom is just to enhance the black lines and to bring it out.
Wow.
And it is also raised to give it that depth. And so we have blood all the way around, line of blood. And
Mhm.
here's his slide that
Mhm.
he always puts the blood on. And here's the mosquito that always bites him at the beginning.
Okay.
And then here is the slice that he always puts on everybody's face. So
Wow.
this will be.
That says a lot.
It does.
Does that not say a lot? I mean, if you
This-
saw this, you would think, oh, it's just a floor plan, but that says a lot.
Yeah, that tells us the story. That tells
That's the
basically-
story.
Yeah, and you just
Awesome.
look at it and you'll know, especially if you watch Dexter, and it's a really good show.
Okay.
But I was tickled to death when he wanted me to do that. I said, "Oh my God!" And he said, "Well, since you're so excited, you do whatever you want to do."
So when you are custom framing for somebody, do you go for that story?
Yes, always want to know what's behind
While they
whatever piece you bring in. I always like to know what's behind it,
Right.
and that gives me an idea of you and how to frame it.
And Sherry Mousy Brown, we're kicking off the show with her today because you guys asked me so many questions. You hear her voice, you see her. Everybody loves Tuya, and we finally got her to be in the shop when we went live. I'm not even in the shop, just my hand. So I mean, and I know once she gets to talking about what she does and the love that she has, it comes out, and that's why everybody comes to Tuya. That's why it's the perfect place in our community. It's a custom frame shop, art gallery, and a boutique. And the boutique is everything that you see around there. The artwork that you see behind us is an actual art show that's going on right now with local Miles Davis. We call him local Miles Davis because, you know, he's not Miles Davis, but he has the namesake, and he is also an artist, and he does music as well.
And he's
So-
fantastic.
And he is a fantastic guy. And he's also been on the show, so you guys have probably already seen it. Those of you that are new and watching, this is Dryer Buzz Behind the Buzz. We take you behind the buzz. And we're normally here, myself and Rita Foshin Thomas, who's off to the side here. We come in and we do a scope every Friday, and then we decided let's make it a meetup. Let's invite in the entrepreneurs. And so it has literally grown from that. And then everybody was like, well, are you going to be there Friday? And we were like, well, we kind of want to do Thanksgiving too. But we decided we'd go ahead and do it because there's a lot of people that want to come by. They have the day off today. And we're here, and we're going to be here all day. Mousy is having her Black Friday special.
Which is 10% off of anything in the store.
That's right. And gift certificates. I cannot stress to you enough. You want to get people off your list, do it with gift certificates, especially for art lovers, because just think of how she has taken this piece and that piece to a whole nother level and made it family treasures. And that's what it means. Now, what's something, what's an example of something? Somebody asked me on a scope this morning, we were talking, they said they had a piece of fabric. Just a piece of fabric, I say just a piece of fabric, but it was a piece of fabric that means something to them. So how would they take that?
I would, it depends on how they want to display it.
Okay.
Either I could fold it and float it inside
Right.
the frame, make a shadow box, or we can just take it and stretch it on a piece of board. And then we can still do the same thing and still float it, or we can just put it on there, and if they want something on top of it, like a memory or something,
Right.
a picture or
So
something
put
like
it with another
that would
memory
be
would be
the
good.
background. Yeah.
Okay. What's the most unique thing you've ever framed?
Wow.
I know there's a lot.
Yeah. Wow. I don't even know.
I know. So when
I've
they can
done,
check your Instagram
yeah,
and see some of that as well.
I've done guitars, golf clubs. Oh, one of the most unique. I was working elsewhere, but we did spears and javelins and things like that from Africa,
Wow.
and that was pretty cool.
Cool.
So you name it, I could probably frame it, and including your TV,
Including the
including
TV.
the TV.
All right. All right. So anything you want to tell everybody about Tuya?
Just come and enjoy it.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, guys,
Yeah.
want to get ready for our regular scope. Plus, we got entrepreneurs that's going to be jumping on scope throughout the day.
Bye. Thank
We'll
you.
probably run a good 30 minutes, and then we'll let the entrepreneurs come in. And I tell you what, let's just take Rita Fatima Thomas come in. Let's talk a little bit about fear. We got a little bit of a different set today because, like I said, there's so many amazing spaces in this one place called Tuya, which is downtown Douglasville. It is Bankhead Highway, it is Veterans Memorial, but when you get to Douglasville, it becomes Broad Street.
Right.
How was your holiday?
It was very nice. How was yours?
Oh my God, we cooked. I had the most amazing time in the kitchen with my daughters.
That's great.
I learned so much about my daughters. Let me tell you. Somebody says, hello Rita, ATL 99. I learned so much hanging out in the kitchen. It was so funny. The most memorable thing was I said a particular phrase in my own way that I said. Using some choice words. Oh, wait, come on, who's that with that comment? I said, oh, thank you so much for welcoming everybody to the scope. And because I can't see the comment, I can see them, but I said something, and my youngest daughter said, that's where she gets it. Apparently, my middle daughter says it
Oh, wow.
the same way. And I'm like, well, she get what? You know, and I knew I had used some choice words.
Right.
And she said, see, Mom, you're a bad influence. That's where they get it from. You know? And so I had the three girls, the three daughters, so all that dynamic of the older child, the middle child, and, you know, like we FaceTime the older one and say, hey, we're already in the kitchen cooking, and she politely cursed us out and said, hey, listen, I am bringing the greens, I'll be there. But we just had so much fun.
That's great. That's what it's about. That's what it should be about.
That's what it was about. We each cooked, we each did two sides. It was like a soul food scene in my kitchen.
That's great.
And my middle daughter took over the mac and cheese this year. And my baby girl usually makes the mac and cheese and everything. But then it was like, I said, okay, now you know you can't make it too much better
Right.
than it's been. And she was like, she was gloating a little bit because
It was better, huh?
just a little bit. It was a little bit better. But so what went on at your house?
Well, we weren't home.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to a friend's house. As
Oh,
a matter of
great.
fact, we went to Ginger's house.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
I know that
we
was a
spent
hoot.
Thanksgiving with them.
Awesome. And Ginger,
that
you
was
met on the
nice.
scope last
Yes.
week. Yeah.
Yes.
I
So,
tell you.
We're going to have a little bit of Thanksgiving today.
Yeah.
I did cook.
Okay.
So my oldest
have to.
daughter and her family are coming over
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I've
Enjoy
done
the day
that.
with us.
I've always, every year, it seemed like we were always going somewhere. Like I said, so this was one of the first ones in a long time that we would been home and with each other. And so we didn't go anywhere. Of course, they had to go do the Black Friday last night. So they was like, let's just chill out and then go. So
Right.
cool. So Fearless Friday, hashtag Fearless Friday. Rita oftentimes helps us to pinpoint these pain points and this fear that we have. And there's always some unique stuff that comes out of the discussions we have, especially with the entrepreneurs.
Right.
When we talk about getting the entrepreneur into the chair, even though they got dressed and came by,
Uh-huh.
we dealt with that. It's like there's still some that don't feel like they can get on the camera or get in the scope and talk about their business. In the holiday, I don't know, what would be a fear point today we want to talk about?
Well, I don't know if, this could be fear.
Okay.
I believe everybody, especially during the holidays, especially when you're ending out the year
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to begin a new year,
Mm-hmm.
we need to take stock of ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Do
we
an audit.
definitely need to audit ourselves and audit ourselves in the way, audit your life,
Mm-hmm.
audit whether or not you are healthy,
Mm-hmm.
audit your your spiritual life. You know, do you pray? Do you meditate if you don't pray? You know, take stock of your health, your physical health. Do you go to the doctor? Do you
Yes.
go to the dentist? Do you take care of yourself? Because remember, you have to be able to take care of yourself if you're going to be there for anybody else. That means family, and that means business.
Right.
So those are the words that I would leave you with today. Take care of yourself. Audit your life. Audit your entire being.
Yeah.
Be true with this audit.
We've been
Because
talking
it's-
a lot about truth
Mm.
in the last couple of sessions, and I think that's where we because at the end of the year, when you start looking at what you've been doing, you got to face the facts
That's right.
of what
That's
you've been
right.
doing. We talked about that on the early. We're doing now 8/27 scope, and we talked about looking at how we've been networking all year long. And somebody asked me, well, how do I know what I'm supposed to do? And one of the things I said, you look at what you did this day last year,
Right.
or last month and last week, and you look at all of that, because it's the nature of business. Look at all of that and see that you achieve the outcomes that you want.
Right.
Right.
Or have you achieved anything?
Anything.
You know, we have people that go from event to event to event to event to event and learn absolutely nothing.
Right. Or
They take
implement
nothing.
nothing.
Exactly. They implement nothing.
Mhm.
You know, so what is your point? Why are you
Mm.
wasting this money
Yes.
to go to all of these events
Yes.
if you're not going to take anything out of it and you're not going to use and implement those things that you hopefully have learned? Or have you really learned anything? Are you open to learning?
Ooh, ooh, and that's a good thing as far as learning, because I don't know. So if I'm going to sit down with myself, what are some of the tools that I can use? I know you have helped us try to do a little bit better with LinkedIn, but what are some of the tools that I can now use to do this audit? If I were going to do an audit kind of thing, what could a spreadsheet or a friend? What can I pull together to kind of really do an audit of myself?
You know, I have an accountability partner.
Oh, an accountability.
Yeah, and
Everybody, you
she's-
got one? You got one?
I need one.
You
Yeah.
need one. You need one. You need one. Okay, so
And
there
my
you go.
accountability partner keeps me in check
Okay.
because she knows me for who I truly am,
Okay.
and she knows when I'm not doing those things that are healthy for me.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and when I'm not,
hmm
she lets me know.
Okay. Because sometimes we do. Of course, we can always judge somebody else. Thanks so much. The hearts are flowing, guys. We oftentimes can look at other people, like we might see somebody say, okay, she has no friends, because clearly somebody could have said pull back or do this or do that. So when we're looking at ourselves, we're not as honest with ourselves
Yeah, this
as
is
we
true.
are about somebody else. So how do we then to take what we can easily say about somebody else and start looking at ourselves?
Well, as you say, it's all about honesty. It's all about being real with yourself.
Right.
And you know what? If you can't be real with yourself, then who can you really be real with?
Wow. I want to talk to you because some people are about to get real busy. We just had Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Everybody's now going into Christmas. There's so many emotions to that as well. But people are already starting to kind of look toward 2016. And don't
Right.
forget, we've got an amazing business camp coming up on December the 27th. We'll talk about that after Black Friday. You don't have to deal with that right now. But just taking it to another professional. We've met a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yes, we have.
We've met a lot. We've seen where people are at various stages. Some people have their product. A lot of people offer different services. One of the things that I have been telling people is what social media is going to look like 2016, and basically they need to have their own intimate spaces.
Right.
But that growth. Have you seen an entrepreneur that's right on the cusp of growth? You know, how do you know when it's time to grow?
I have actually.
Mhm.
I have actually. You know, and I've seen her. She's a professional.
Okay.
And I've seen her go from a one-man show
Right.
into having interns,
Right.
into having paid people
Exactly.
that work for her.
Exactly.
So I've seen that grow to the point where she's actually outgrown her space.
Right.
And she has to move into another space now to accommodate
Okay.
all that she has.
Okay, and the coffee is here, so we're gonna let Marlene come on into the shop because I cannot sit here without putting my hands on that cup.
Yes.
And I want, but now we're talking. Speaking of just growth, we're talking about whether or not Rita is kind of observing everybody, because one of the things we do on this scope is entrepreneurs come through. 1 week we had 17. Hey, I know that those emojis have got to be Jason Hodge. So shout out to Jason.
Hey.
Again, my name is Yolanda Lattimore. This is Rita Foshina Thomas. Hashtag Distinctive Ops. Distinctive Ops. And okay, come on.
Okay.
All right, what do I have?
Soy, peppermint mocha, and I have it labeled right on there for you. There's your
Soy, peppermint mocha, and what is she drinking?
Pina colada.
She's got the pina colada smoothie, and these are from Community Bean.
Yes.
Jump in, jump in. There you go.
Right.
Yeah, you can come in the middle of the pump. Uh-oh.
That's right.
That's a pump. Okay.
Okay.
All right, these are from Community Bean. And look at the emojis that come out. Okay.
Look at
So she stops by with a coffee because we stopped by her spot all week long. And so she comes by and brings, what do you guys got going for tonight?
Tonight's movie night.
Wow.
So guys come in. When the customers come in, you choose the movie. So we'll see it.
Oh, okay, so it's like a movie marathon.
7 p.m. Then tomorrow we've got anime night. So if you're interested in drawing anime, painting anime, we've got different projects
Awesome.
for that. And
very nice.
also we're going to watch some movies and do some trivia.
Right. So if you're out doing your Black Friday shopping, stop by and get some coffee, warm up, or just come out of the crowd.
That's
You have
right.
to come out of the
That's
crowd
right. And relax.
and regain your
Yes.
personal
Exactly.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stop by Community Bean, which is located,
8341 Grady Street here in Douglasville.
and Grady Street is actually parallel to
Let's see, Grady Street, Fairburn.
Fairburn,
Yep.
right.
Yep. Fairburn and Bankhead.
There you go. There you go. I'm gonna get to sipping y'all because
I
This
figured
is
I'd
so
do.
good.
I figured I'd do a peppermint mocha because that's a very popular
Ooh,
Christmas drink.
nice.
yes, yes,
This
it's
time of
good.
year, and then the
It's
pina
so good.
colada, but
There you go.
You can have pina colada
we'll
anytime.
be sipping.
That's
She's
right.
gonna come back and you staying for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
she's
she's
gonna
gonna
come-
finish.
Oh, wait a minute. We gotta kind of talk about what we did, what we spoke about last time, because that's been a hot video. People have been watching. We talked about women in networking,
Right.
and you were talking about having an accountability partner, and there were a lot of pain points that came out of what we talked about as far as networking. You want to reshare some of those?
Well, we talked about how it's important. It's not all about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the other person. You know, when you go up to somebody and you're just handing out cards like you're handing out playing cards, then what are you really accomplishing?
Right.
That to me speaks to somebody who's a little selfish.
Mhm.
You know, when I go to a networking, the first thing I ask is, what do you do? You know, I want to know about you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and then that person usually reciprocates and asks me about my business, you know, and that's the way it should be.
Right.
I also talked about Marlene at length because Marlene is one of those people who she pushes everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. She talks about everybody's business. I mean, she even wears, she and her husband wear Amplified Douglasville's t-shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
In
our
their
coffee
space.
In
shop.
your space. Right. Right.
You know,
And it's a great space. I was there. I actually did a scope there last week, and it was people were just buzzing through, and they come, they sit, and there were a couple even came over and just jumped in the scope and waved, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called Community Bean, I imagine.
That's right. That's right. We want the community to come together. And if you come to my shop and you have a business card, we will definitely talk about your business.
There you go.
There you go. So, everything is a two-way street. I think that's the main thing that we miss. That
That's
it
right.
is a two-way street. Well, thank you so much. We always look forward to
Enjoy.
the coffee on our
Yes,
scope
and
from
the pina
Community.
colada.
And the pina. She always gets the smoothie. I love the hot coffee. I'm
Yeah.
even trying to graduate to the iced coffee.
Right.
And what are some of the other things that I've tried? 'Cause
You
even
try
got- what you got over there?
You try. Oh, I have a caramel apple cider. Have you tried the apple cider?
Everybody's been talking about apple cider.
Caramel apple
Okay.
cider, and then the frappuccino because it's Frappe Friday. So
Frappe Friday. Oh, always Frappe Friday at Community
it's
Bean.
white chocolate peppermint. Now you've got the regular chocolate,
Okay.
peppermint, but I have a white chocolate peppermint
And some
frappe.
cups, so they're going to
Yeah.
sample some of the coffee over there.
Yep.
All right, and listen, I know you guys, if you are booking your company events, or if you have all those, let me tell you something. When you have a meeting, everybody hates meeting. Nobody wants to be there. So at least get some good coffee.
Absolutely.
At the meeting. Don't go get the break room coffee. Call Community Bean and order up some coffee, some special coffee, some pina coladas, some, you know,
Mango smoothies.
mango smoothie.
right.
This is non-alcoholic.
And then people will be more engaged in the meetings, right?
Right.
So that's what, and you guys got packages for that, because you guys are
Yeah, I
now
was
doing
gonna say
delivery.
if you do a meeting in the morning,
Right.
we deliver up until 11 o'clock. So if you do a meeting, we will definitely. If you just want brewed coffee, we'll have a craft coffee with all the fixins.
There you
Or if you would prefer, we could do individual drinks for
There you
the people.
Wow.
Yeah, for
And
your,
what, I mean,
How
you
nice
walked
is
into
that?
a meeting and
I
there
wouldn't
was your
mind
drink.
being there.
right,
There you
exactly.
go.
And if you
There.
give your the name of the person that's in your meeting, then they'll have the name on their cup, and they'll be very.
Wow.
And networkings, especially if you've got evening networkings, help them up with some coffee or some smoothies,
Yep.
all of that. So call them, Community Bean.
Yep, 8341 Grady Street. Look us up on the Facebook. It's Community Bean Coffee Connection. We have all our events on Facebook.
There you go.
All right,
Thank you
there
so
you are.
much.
Thank you.
All right, and that's how you create buzz. Be ready to talk about your business.
That's right.
Get your products out there. There are a number of ways that you can create buzz. But we were talking about accountability. It's the end of the year. Make sure that you are doing an audit of yourself, audit of your health, audit of your wealth. Ooh,
That's
write that down. Tweet that one. An audit of yourself, an audit of your health, and an audit of your wealth. Because Marlon, who just did a mega webinar about your tax season. Because tax season is coming up, and Marlon told us, rich is how much money you have, but wealth is how long you keep your money.
That's right.
How long are you keeping your money? That's the first point that you have to be honest about, because if we notice, money is flowing everywhere, but how long do you keep it? And so that's especially like Black Friday. There are a lot of people gonna wake up Monday and like, wait a minute, I spent too much, and then you see them back at the stores trying to return, but you got it on the Black Friday deal, and now it's not worth what it, because they will do that to you.
Yes, they will.
And then charge you a reshelving fee.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Fees. That's the first thing you need to audit yourself on is fees.
That's right.
Go back and look over the year how much you spend. I sat down with a girlfriend of mine because she used to bother me so much that she would go to the ATM. I'm like, girl, you go to the ATM all day, every day. Why don't you just get out what you need? I sat down with her one year. She had spent $3,000. $3,000 in ATM, just at the ATM in 1 year.
Oh my gosh.
Now ask me how much she had in savings.
How much?
No,
Oh, I couldn't imagine. Could not imagine.
because every Friday her savings direct deposit goes, and what does she do on Monday? She moves it over to her checking. And we can all relate to that. We've all been there, but people don't know if they don't know. And I said to her, because she's thinking, oh, $2 here. We add. I said,
It
let's
adds
go
up.
back. I said, you don't even have to go. At that time, we had to go back and do a spreadsheet, but now you can go, if you bank online, you can literally go and see how much you paid in fees. And a lot of times the bank will tell you, stop.
Right.
You know, and you know when you go to the machines, depending on if you use, like I have a debit card that I use for all my internet fees. If I use that debit card in the store and I say debit, it's going to charge me $1.
That's right.
And then so if you use 30 transactions in a month, that's $30.
Yes.
Times 12 months, come on. You're spending there's so much money. Uh-oh, somebody catch that comment. Is that you typing? Or do I need to read that comment?
An audit, they were doing an audit of your.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to look at your fees, because that's money you can invest in your business.
That's right.
$3,000 in fees.
Yes.
You could be vending at 10, 15 events
There you are.
at that price.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Big events.
Big events. At $3,000, you could have run a full-on advertising campaign. So you have to look at it. Paying your bill 2 days late, there's a fee to that.
Yes.
I mean, if you just go back, you want to know where your money is, go back and look at the fees.
That's right.
Just start right there.
That's right.
Face that truth. Because we oftentimes know people don't want to look at their budget.
No, they don't.
They don't.
They
And
don't.
then when you tell them your price from consulting, you know, it's $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, and what do they say? They don't have it.
Oh my gosh, you're so expensive.
But you just paid the ATM $3,000
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
on your own money,
Yeah.
right? I'm just saying. So when you look at
I
that,
say interest too.
Right. Right. And then people who go buy a cup of bounce a check on a cup of coffee,
Right.
and then spend $40. You know, you gotta because they don't want to know. But what do? They just go around. They keep swiping until it says no. And when it says no, they just feel like they don't spend all their money, but they don't even go and look at and see where their money went.
Yeah.
And that's how you. And then they want to know, well, how are you traveling? How are you at this event? And how are you at that? Because I know where my money's going.
That's right.
It's going to the event. Like I was watching a scope earlier, and a young lady in Vegas said that she was bringing a tour to Atlanta next week, and she's having a Black Friday vendor special. I was like, what? And I looked at the number of people that were in her scope, and she's coming to Atlanta. I went right out and I bought my vendor space, and it was half off or whatever her deal was. And then not only that, she spent the next 10 minutes of her scope talking about me. And remember, I tell you, entrepreneurs, you got to go pro.
That's right.
I could have emailed her and said, hey, listen, I'm a blogger in Atlanta. You got an event coming. I want to come to your event. I was like, no, go pro.
That's
Let
right.
me get my vendor space. And that our first initial contact was me patronizing her business.
Right.
Not begging, not asking, but I became her top. You know what she did? She said she was talking about monetizing. And so she spent the rest of her scope talking about why she was doing that scope. She monetized her business by selling her vendor spaces. And everything she said, she ended up mentioning me.
Yes.
Dryer buttons.
Right.
So that's how you go pro.
Right.
That's how you go pro. But you have to take that audit to know that you have the power to do that. And if you don't do the audit, you never know.
No, you won't know.
You won't know. So growth. We're not going to do a fear tactic today. We're going to talk about growth.
Yes.
Growth. Here I am, end of the year. Probably had some success. Grew the name, grew the quote-unquote brand, became a brand ambassador here at Tuya. Growth. What does growth look like for an entrepreneur? Let's talk about that.
Look at the stuff that you've done previously, and look at where you want to go.
Okay.
Okay. Have you made any strides to get there? And if you have, what are those strides?
What are the
You know,
strides?
what have you done? What can you continue to do?
Right.
We can learn so much from other people if we just open ourselves up.
Right. Not necessarily compare ourselves,
No,
but learn
but
from other people.
learn.
There you go.
There's so many people, you know, I consider myself an expert in what I do, but you know what? There are so many people
Yes.
that know even more than I do. So what do? I open myself up to learn from them,
Right.
from those people who
Right.
maybe where I want to go, and I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
you can't. It's once you close yourself off, once you say I am the whatever, you know, you stop growing.
Yeah.
You stop.
You
Growing.
know what I find too? There are a lot of paths that have already been carved, and people have left breadcrumbs. They've written books. There's something different now, because I like to learn from those in the Great Depression, because I feel like they came through the Great Depression and they never saw poverty again. So I like to learn from them, but at the same time, there's something different about these times today. There's something different. I guess being that the world is smaller, because the person who might 50 years ago did something in Douglasville in Atlanta was like Douglasville in Dubai. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be in Douglasville today and in Dubai tomorrow, whereas for them, they can only go as far as Atlanta. But the difference with us is we can be here today and around the world to next thing. But how to bring that into your imagination of what you can now imagine for your business. Because I'm watching, there's a location scoper who's always in New York.
Okay.
Well, his wife's family is from Dubai, so he's spending Thanksgiving in Dubai. And I'm watching people on his scope, they're like amazed, like, you're in Dubai? You know, like, that's not possible. But you scope from New York.
Right.
But see, you never know the limitations of people, because
Right.
those are your limitations.
Exactly, and
Right?
they're not anybody else's.
They're
And
not
the thing
even-
is that the
Right.
more limitation that you put on yourself,
Right.
the more you're stunting your growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I was scoping from home. Who knew that we can now scope inside too? You know, everybody's looking at scope. It's like, okay, I need to do that. Let's talk about imitation, flattery. When you see somebody do something that you do, how to be flattered by it and not think, oh, this is what
they're
people
copying me.
Right.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'll even share somebody's Facebook and they'll get mad. It's like, well, you could. In fact, somebody told me, well, you could have liked mine first. And I said, but I shared it.
Yeah. What is that's the best form of flattery right there.
Right. Well, that's the question that people asked on the scope this morning is how to tell competition. Or if somebody's collaborating or you collaborate. We talked about that last week on the scope. Are you, that's the post. On Dryer Buzz, if you want to watch the scope that we did last week on women or female networking, we put, are we secretly competing or honestly collaborating? And even this morning on the scope we did, somebody said, are we competing or are we defeating? If we're competing, then we're defeating, or something like that. There were so many nuances that came out of that scope this morning. I was like, whoa. And so that's it. How do you tell when somebody, because I had a story I was sharing with Mousy when I came in. I went to an event, and I shared this online. Everybody's like 50-some people liked it, and the comments are still going. I said I showed up at an event, and somebody acted like they were all happy to see me. But then they go, oh, I meant to tell you about this event. And I was like, but you didn't.
Exactly. So
But
what
you
does that
didn't
tell you?
And I left it. I said I left them in the general admission. And then I went on, because had you said you wanted to come, because I've always got a +1. And I go everywhere by myself. So I left them in general admission, and I went on to the VIP. And I didn't say this in the scope, but then when I stepped on stage and was handed the microphone, the mouths really dropped.
Right.
But you guys see, because I could be scoping right here by myself. I didn't have to open this up to Rita to sit beside me or the community to come in.
Right.
That's who I am.
That's right.
About service.
That's right.
So how do you know when somebody is competing, in essence defeating, or really trying to work with you?
Because they're not going to grow.
And you're not going to grow.
No.
You won't feel the growth?
No,
Is that it? Now, what does that feel like? What does that feel like when somebody's stunting your growth?
When somebody is stunting your growth, they do things, or no, I should say when somebody tries to stunt your growth.
Right.
Because
Y'all,
only
this is
you
so
can
good.
make them successful, okay, by your reaction.
And that's why they try to connect with you. They know they need to be connected to you.
Yes.
But it's not a nature of their being to be as of service as you are.
Right.
So,
Right.
and they look for the wrong outcome. I think that's it. The
And it's
outcome.
all about them,
Right.
and it's never about us.
Wow.
You know, so if it's all about you, then you really need to audit yourself.
This audit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
you really need to audit your motives. What are your motives really?
right. We're going to talk about we're going to keep auditing in the mix for going over the next week. So because Rhonda, we got to bring in some more chairs, y'all. I love this setup. So what I'm going to do is I want my entrepreneurs to work with Rita today. And I want to really get into this cup of peppermint mocha. And I can't gulp it down on camera. So I'm going to let my entrepreneurs jump in my shop because Rhonda, who has Metro ATL and B, y'all got to learn that. Metro ATL and B. It's Metro Atlanta. She put Atlanta in her brand, and then she put the and beyond in her brand. She came in with some revelations, I guess we should say, some resolutions of. She did a little audit. She went to a workshop. She went to a conference, and she realized I'm not doing some things. So I want her to come in and talk on this growth thing. You ready? She's always ready. She's gonna get ready.
Always.
I'm gonna jump out of the shot, and I'm gonna kind of coach them from the side. But hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Please share because Periscope is not spreading the buzz like we thought. And so you've got to share. When you guys share, when you guys do the share button, they'll share and the numbers will go up. So make sure that you are sharing. Thank you so much, Jason Hodge, for inviting followers and the emojis, which we can see. Do I need to bring you guys in a little closer? Let me know if I need to I'll go ahead and bring you guys in a little closer.
A spiritually filled, thinking woman. And that is what we've been lacking in our community.
Go now to dryerbuzz.com and follow @dryerbuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.